What up, world? DJ on the Mac. What coming in? And I'm back in the game, guys. I got a sweet new computer. It means I can get on with some content. I can finally lock back in. And I'm locking in with our favorite. And it's going to be Beelzemon. Beelzemon, we're just digging back out and see what we can cook up in this new format. So if this is a video for you to go through a deck profile, choices, tech, all the good stuff, then stick around and enjoy. And if you're new to the channel, like what you see, make sure you subscribe and turn notifications well, because I do videos on the reg. So let's go over to the ratios. I'm going to hopefully try and keep this short and sweet, because not much has changed, but some of the ratios have shifted a fair bit. So going over to eggs, it's still going to have to be the Yarmon from the starter deck. It just works perfectly in what this deck is trying to do. And ultimately, you want to make sure that you can build up your trash in order for you to kind of close game out quickly. And also utilizing your trash to obviously recur key pieces in order for you to do your combo. But Yarmon, when attacking, if this Digimon it has a Wizard or Demon Lord trait, trash top 2 cards of your deck, which is always helpful right there, and there is just literally no need for another egg. So that concludes on that. Now going over to the rookies, we do run a solid 12, so a slight decrease of our usual, but we're kind of going a bit more stack based than anything else, but we still kind of have the rush, the kind of the rookie rush elements there too. So going on, starting off with obviously the starter deck, Impmon. This is just great in order for you to kind of, you know, get rid of any floodgates if you manage to trash cards off your deck, which is always handy. And also that warp mechanic does come up pretty clutch there as well. If you have 20 more cards in trash, able to warp into a Beelzemon from your trash by paying the cost of 3, ignoring its digivolution requirements, which is handy. Obviously we do have ways that we can kind of get into our Beelzemon X antibody off that as well, with a cheeky little bit of X antibody option there too, which is always good. Then we complement that up with, it's got to be the Impmon X antibody. This, once again, just really good for when you are building up in the back, able to essentially, you know, get another draw. Even if you have a Impmon out, and also even into this, it means that you can trash a 1-option card from your hand, and you may return a Digimon card with Evil, Wizard, or Demon Lord trait from your trash to your hand, which is also great for that nice little bit of recursion. And then its inheritable is the when attacking, able to trash the top 2 cards of your deck, which is always welcomed. Then we complement that up with the classic BT18 Impmon. I just like this Impmon just because it just helps you fill up your trash whilst able to kind of do some small chips at your opponent's security, which is always nice. And also on deletion, able to trash top 3 cards of your deck, which is always good. So even if the opponent was like, well, I don't really want to kind of leave this boy on field, it's either I get rid of it or I'm going to swing and hopefully, you know, die. So ultimately the opponent is going to go and delete it, and it just obviously just puts you more at your win con. Lastly, we do run the one-off, and that's why I moved the card slightly. So the one-off, Impmon EX2, this, once again, is just heavily powerful, is because it'll able to extend your trashing cards off top of your deck plays. If this is trash, you're able to trash it up to 3 additional cards, which is always great. It is a searcher, which is helpful, but most of the times you will whiff off it. And its inheritable is absolutely fantastic in order for you to kind of get higher DP thresholds with your main stack. And that's definitely one thing I do miss with this being restricted, is that nice DP gain. It's unfortunate, but hey ho, it was pretty cracked when you did run it at 4. So that concludes there for the rookies, 12. Now going over to the champions, we do run 9, so it's going to be obviously your faithfuls, it's going to be your standard Wizardmon. This is just great if it's trash off the top of your deck, able to gain a memory, which is great. And also it helps with stacking as well with the when attacking, which isn't once per turn. So obviously any future support, this obviously could be quite cracked. But you're able to reveal 1 purple card from your hand, and then able to return to your top of your deck. So it just gives you some ways to kind of extend your plays. If you want to gain a bit of extra memory, you can do, put a Death Sling on there, which is always nice. So yeah, fantastic stuff. Then we complement that up with the Wizardmon X antibody. This is just great in order for you to gain some more draw power in the back. Also as well, you can kind of get 1, it depends on how you, obviously, if you do it, if you either on top of Wizardmon, you're able to grant the stack blocker, which is great. Or if you either on top of your Impmon, you're able to trash 2 cards off top of your deck, which is once again always great. When attacking, inheritable is trash 2 top cards of your deck, which is once again really great. And then we just round it off with a Witchmon from the starter deck. I do like Witchmon just because that inheritable, helpful, and also that option to trash the top 3 cards of your off your deck is always pretty clutch right there. Definitely inheritable is nice just in case, you know, you need to kind of get some more DP. In your main stack, it does grant you additional 2k DP if your Digimon is Wizard or Demon Lore trait. So that concludes there for the champions, a solid 9. Now going over to the Ultimates, we are running 6, and it's going to be the classic 4 of the starter deck Beelzemon. Just once again, really fantastic card here, because when Digivolving, you're able to trash top 3 cards of your deck, which is always great. And then when Digivolving as well, this Digimon gains on deletion. If there's 10 or more cards in trash, you're able to play a Beelzemon from trash without paying the cost till the end of your opponent's turn. So this is really helpful for us to effectively gate out our Beelzemon, particularly the new Beelzemon that has Rush. Means that you can get a nice little cheeky swing in there, which is always great. Then that inheritable Juicy gives you additional 2k DP, which is always great. So your main stack is obviously gonna benefit off that. Then we combo that up with a Beelzemon from BT10. I do like this Beelzemon, just because it effectively, if you are building in Raising, have to build in Raising, and then push out, this card can really, you know, help you build up a lot of trash very, very quickly, because you may trash up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. So obviously you can have a selection of just trashing 1 if you want to, or trashing 2. Then on deletion, if you have 10 or more cards in trash, you may play 1 Beelzemon from your trash without paying the cost. So this is just literally, if you've got 10 or more, this, you just don't want this body to be the opponent doesn't want this body to be deleted, which is the thing. And obviously for us, we do want that nice bit of deletion, so it does help us get our Beelzemon. And then we finish it up with the Beelzemon X antibody there as well, which this is just helpful for us to recur our X antibody. On top of that, able to give us that nice additional DP if we Evo on top of it. Obviously our Beelzemon's going to be having a nice little additional 2k, and if you Evo on top of your Beelzemon starter deck, you know, it just means you really stockpiling that DP gain, which obviously going to give you additional in combination 4,000 instead of 2,000. But the good thing about this is effectively when it Evos on top of your Wizardmon or your Witchmon, you're able to just return your X antibody, which is great. So it's not in the form of like tied to a condition. And then also you're able to trash the top 3 cards of your deck. If this Digimon has that Beelzemon or X antibody in its Digivolution source, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon instead. So once again, nice little cheeky option here. You don't get both, unfortunately. So 9 times out of 10, most plays for us is, you know, make sure that we can just trash that top 3 right there, which is good. So that concludes there for the Ultimate 6. Now time for the really cool stuff right here. So right now we are currently rocking 9 in total. Actually that's a lie, 8 but we can't count. So 8 megas. Let's go over them. So starting off with the new, well, not so much new, but probably what we're running more on is the EX6 Beelzemon. The reason why I love this is, one, it's got Rush, which Rush really helps out a lot, and also it really accelerates the amount you can trash up to, because it does have an on-play and when Digivolving, so you get it in best of both. You're able to trash the top 4 cards of your deck. Then if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, Digivolve 2 one of your opponent's Digimon. That Digivolve is an absolute menace, and it just stops any form of ace shenanigans that can probably come out and absolutely derail your strat. So obviously off of our Beelzemons, we obviously have that kind of, you know, if it's deleted, play out of BLs, which BLs is the card that we're going to be obviously going out with, and then we're able to just disrupt their board pretty nicely whilst abling to attack, which is great. So obviously in combination with that, we do run 2 of the Beelzemon X antibodies, which once again, if we have X antibody and we swing with this, depending on also our trash totals, we just could be just chipping away at the opponent's security pretty safely, or actually just claiming game. This is what I really like about this BLs, is just the rush is just really, really strong. And if the opponent can't get around your Beelzemons, it's an absolute menace right there. And then we combo that up with a Beelzemon EX2. We still run this, obviously. We kind of, this card is still strong in terms of what it does. It's an all-rounder. Able to spawn out 8 mons from trash, which is great if this is revealed off top of your deck. Also, when attacking and when Digivolving, and this is not once per turn, you may trash the top 2 cards of your deck, and then delete one of your opponent's Digimon level 3 or lower Digimon, and then for every 10 cards in trash, add the maximum level to Digimon that you can choose by this effect. So you increase it by 1. So if you've got 10 in trash, that's a level 4, 20, level 5, 30, level 6, just for plainly attacking, which is an absolute menace right there. But one thing I just want to kind of float back to is just the Beelzemon X Antibody, is that this is a very strong card and kind of your finisher. Because when Digivolving, if this Digimon has Beelzemon or X Antibody in its Digivolution source, trash the top card of your opponent's security, and then for every 10 cards in your trash, well, for every 10 cards in your trash, so if you've got 20 in trash, you trash in 2, 30, you trash in 3, you get my drift. And this is what I mean by how this can be an absolute, these two in tandem can be an absolute freaking game finisher. You barely kind of use the complementary Beelzemon blast mode. This obviously ultimately before we had this was your finisher, where this is, it's kind of like, it's handy if you can't finish, boom, you kind of trigger that from your Rival's Barrage, and then you just kind of, you know, finish up. But 9 times out of 10, it's just so helpful in order for like deleting menaces on the field, depending on how your trash is. But 9 times out of 10, your combo finishers are going to be these two, just because they do work so great together if you do have X Antibody in the source. And to be honest, even just getting 2 of these out is just an absolute menace. Like, by the time your trash is literally built up, this is just doing the work. right there. It's filthy. And with this, it really builds up trash pretty quickly. So that concludes that for the Megas. So going on to the options, we already know how Beelzemon rolls. It's very option heavy, and the thing that I do like about Beelz is that it's got such powerful options that doesn't necessarily disrupt its overall gameplay. If anything, it actually just complements it really well. So starting off with probably one of the best cards in the deck, and that is going to be your Rival's Barrage. We do run this at 3 now. Ultimately, you can run it at 4 if you want to. It's just more deck space, really. But 3, I find, is just enough for you to do what you need to do. But it just overall has so much utility and just keeps your security always spicy. The opponent is always sweating if they see a Rival's Barrage. I'll read the security effect first. The reason why is because delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level, just absolute filth. If they've got 1 Digimon out, boom, that's just dead. You do play it for the cost of 7, which is actually relatively cheap for what it actually does overall. But when this card is trashed from your deck, you may place this in your battle area. So beautiful. Then if you do play it from hand, you're able to delete the opponent's highest level Digimon, which is obviously the same as the security effect. But the main thing is the main, and it's delay. So once it's in your battle area, you're able to return 1 purple Digimon card or Tamer from your trash to your hand. Just honestly, such a good card. Such a good card. Like I say, you can run it at 4 if you want to, but 3 is just okay. Death Slinger should always be at 4, in my opinion. Just gaining memory is always great. Cheap removal and even better removal, depending on obviously how your trash is looking. So for the cost of 4. Also, when this card is trashed from the top of your deck, gain a memory, and then main, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. For every 10 cards in your trash, increase the highest level this effect can delete. So it, once again, like, even if you have 10 in trash. That's a freaking ultimate. That's filthy. It's easy to get to 10 in this deck. And then when you're at 20, boom, delete level 6 or lower for a cost of 4. Honestly, filthy. Then we do play 7th cluster. I actually really like this card as well. So this is kind of like the reverse of what Rivals Barrage does in terms of if you play it for 7, because you're able to delete the lowest level Digimon. So it is in reverse, but this works well in tandem with your Beelzemon X antibody, because if it's in your trash, when one of your Digimon digivolves into Beelzemon X antibody, by returning this card to the bottom of your deck, delete your opponent's lowest level Digimon. Awful. Absolutely filthy. So you're getting that aspect of card recursion back, so you don't deck yourself out, as well as kind of disrupting like someone who could possibly be blocking you, or just something that you need to get rid of, which is great, and just for digivolving, and obviously just doing the deck's intended game plan. Filthy. Then we go in with, like I say, the 1X antibody. X antibody, really cool card. Really helps in terms of just kind of getting into your Beelzemon X antibody, especially if you've played out your EX6 Beels off the Balmon effect and just swing with Rush. Obviously have this underneath. Boom, go into your Beelzemon X antibody and just trash the security and hopefully claim game. Or if you use this with your starter deck Impmon, Shazam, you know, able to just warp up into BLs and then go to Beelzemon X antibody. Just really powerful card. Even triggered out from security, able to gain the memory and add this in your hand. Could still turn, you wouldn't believe it, or just mess up the opponent's plays. Filthy. Then lastly, we do go in with the Wisdom Training at 2. Just once again, really good card. If you manage to play this out, you can basically grab pretty much every card in the deck, which is nice, really handy. And then just reducing that Evo, once again, very powerful in this list. But that concludes there for the options. Now going over to the Tamers, you already know what this is, and it is going to be the 4 Tamers, and it's going to be probably the absolute cracked one, and that is going to be Ayamako from the start deck. Bandai just nailed it when they printed this bad boy. Just absolutely helps the deck out massively. If you have this in your opening hand, you're cooking already. Just because play costs are free, always the worth. On play, reveal top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card with Evil, Wizard, or Demon Lord trait amongst them to your hand, and then place the rest at the bottom of your deck. That's pretty much your whole deck, minus obviously your options and all that jazz. Then your turn, when one of your Digimon digivolves into a purple Digimon, by suspending this Tamer, return one card from your hand to the top of the deck, and then if you do so, able to gain a memory. Winning, absolutely winning. Definitely run that 4. It's just a great extender, just reducing cost of your evos, setting up your top deck, so then you can either gain memory, get a Rivals Barrage set up. It's crazy, the functionality of this card, and definitely looking forward to the new support when we go into the next set, which I think Beelzemon's going to be absolutely cooking. Just with the support, and even just having like scrambles as well is going to be nice for this deck. So that concludes for the Beelzemon deck profile. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like I say, not really much has changed apart from just using more of this, in all honesty, because it's just that much of a good card. Just being able to fill up your trash a lot quicker whilst actually interacting with the opponent's board state, or another option to interact with the opponent's board state is nice, and the rush is just so good. But guys, stay safe, stay fly, drop it like a standard, and make sure you subscribe as well. There's a lot of people watching, not a lot of subscribers, so let's keep up the climb, because I'm locked in, guys, locked back in. All right, peace.